Take this as an example so that we can look at what's right before the outcome. The outcome, the result, is the result of something. But what was there before, immediately? Come on, players. For a long time, traditional capacity building was focusing on action. But then, if we continue with things as usual, with business as usual, things will continue as usual if conditions are the same. Not even going with business as usual, we can achieve the same result because the conditions are now unfavorable. So with unfavorable conditions, maybe the very same actions will not lead to the same result. And so, instead of understanding on what things make attitude or behavior having an impact on the outcome, we need to know what's the context of the action. If the outcome is the content of the action, then which sustains an action. Come on, Juan. What do you think? How is an action created? Which is the context of the planning? I mean, planning, obviously, is before action. Yes, attitude, behavior, which is previous to action. But then what's the context of behavior or attitude? Thinking. Yes, no doubt. Ideas and thinking. But then what's supporting thinking? That's interesting. But what about the human being? The beliefs. Yes. But what's supporting the beliefs? The kind of observer we are. If that thing out there is seen as a threat, then I will act defensively or escaping. Imagine you have a child, a baby is born, and then as soon as he's born, he's given green glasses, green spectacles, and he grows, and no one tells him about these green glasses. He goes to college, he goes to work, and then one day when the person asks him, how do you see the world? Minimally normal, okay. Grey, black, okay. So, since you are seeing the world your way, you're having the actions consistently, and you're having the outcome consistently. Since you are this observer with these spectacles, you are acting consistently, and the result is the outcome based on the observer you are. So if we find the supporting point, the lever on which to act on this observer, then we will have a higher impact on the outcome because we will be leveraging. You know about Archimedes. Yeah, I'm sure you do. You know about Archimedes. More or less. Of course, you are not personally acquainted with him, but who was Archimedes? Come on. All right, the Archimedes principle. The lever, yes. Yeah, and there is a different one principle on on the liquid exerting a pressure, which has nothing to do here, but then there is lever. And then there is a sentence from Archimedes. Yes. Give me a standing point and I will move the world. And that was the result of the leveraging system, multiplying energy. And he found out that with the very same energy, but through levers, you could multiply your energy proportionate to the light being here the size of the lever. So the same thing can happen with your results, with your outcome. If instead of using a supporting point in the action, we are using this supporting point in this distant observer, that is the spectacles through which you are looking at reality, because these spectacles, these lenses, are just what make you what you are. And so it is precisely in the observer, in the beholder, where we will be addressing at. And we will be talking about this observer, which is containing an outcome. And this is my argument, and I would like you to reflect on that. You have what you have because you observe what you observe. You would have different lenses, different glasses, you would obtain a different outcome. Let me go a little bit further. You know why an extraordinary result is extraordinary to you? Well, because you look at the world the way you do. It might seem extraordinary to you, but it might not be so for the people sitting next to you. And why is not? Because it's looking at the world through different spectacles, through different lenses. And this is precisely these lenses, the beliefs, the culture we are in, the abilities, our previous experiences, and through these lenses we decode reality as it is. And then we bite a strong bait by believing that reality is what I observe, but rather I'm just a subjective player in understanding reality. If I am able to detach myself, then I have a long work to do, because I can work on the lenses, because the way I am observing is the way that's providing for that outcome. And so, during this hour, on this conversation, I want you to challenge the observer which is sitting in your very seat. We have to challenge that, because as long as we keep on looking at reality as we have, then we will be obtaining the very same outcome, considering the same circumstances. So, who is the observer? What turns us into an observer? Why do we act like we do, based on the lenses that we have? And then we have different moments that we can understand, different stages. First would be perception, where our senses provide for information, and we all perceive. Even animals can perceive. But here's a key point where we will provide for the leveraging point, for the sporting point. And here is interpretation. Interpretation is precisely where we incorporate, where we add all our culture, the color we see things, in what we perceive. We all perceive, but then interpreting is precisely what turns, or what makes us decode this reality as such. Let me give you a practical example. You all perceive this pen. Yep. Okay, what happened? It fell down. I dropped it. Yes. Come on. I let it drop. Yeah. Gravity. You all perceive that. You all perceive that. There was a different interpretation for everyone speaking it out. And then, let's try and explain why it fell. Why did it fall? Why did it fall? Yes, because I dropped it, because I wanted, out of will. So the interesting thing is that every different look will provide for a different interpretation. For instance, if I was a physicist, I would say these fell because of the gravity, where the mass of the Earth exerts a strength, which is one of the most powerful strengths, or one of the most powerful forces, being gravity, with an acceleration of 0.98 square meters. And is there anyone there that challenges this theory? Physicists would see that, isn't it? Is he right or is he not? Well, partly. No, he's absolutely right. It fell because of the gravity. No doubt about that. Isn't it? Am I right with that? Yes. As social scientist, my study or might bring out a different interpretation, or a physician might come up with a different interpretation, a biologist with a different interpretation. A different person would say that it simply dropped.